Good afternoon, viewers. This is Full Disclosure Entertainment. We're going to be talking about two awesome subjects today. We're going to be talking about one, which is taking older games in a newer direction good or bad? And two, is being sold incomplete games with being pretty much supplemented by DLC, is that good or bad? Is there a reason behind it? We'll find out. We'll get you the information that you need to make that decision yourself, and hopefully our opinions help you make a decision. And we're going to be pretty much talking about the older games being put into a newer direction first. So just to start you guys off with. An example of this I think would be the Devil May Cry series, which I think that the new DMC games completely, I like them. I think that they blew out the older games in like an awesome way, in a proportionate way. Some people may not agree. They like the older games. I personally didn't like 3 or 4. That's just my personal take on it. If you'd like to elaborate on that, you can.
See, I just didn't like number 2. Everyone hated number 2. Number 1 was fine. It was because the gameplay was just this whole new thing. There hasn't really been a gameplay like that before. Number 2 was complete and utter shit. The story was good. The gameplay was fucking... The map design, it was all bullshit. Number 3 was arguably... I would say that one is tied with DMC because of the fact that they took it... That game kind of did take it in a new direction. Number 2 was so serious and non-funny, and then number 3 they brought it all the way back to like an origin story, kind of. Yes. And it was funny, it was actiony, the gameplay was awesome, the weapons were awesome. It was near perfect. That game was a near perfect game for that style. And 4 came out. I was completely fine with 4 because they took it in a new direction. They introduced a new character. They did the same thing that Metal Gear Solid 2 did, except it didn't receive nearly as much hate.
Yeah.
Everyone hated Metal Gear Solid 2, and I didn't fucking care. I thought it was good. But anyway. No, but DMC is one of those things where everyone hates change. Everyone got pissed off because they introduced they just remade the character. I mean, it's, if you think of it as a standalone game, then yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, even if you think of it, even if you think of it as an origin story, then it's still pretty awesome. The only difference between DMC Dante and Devil May Cry original Dante was the fact that in the original Devil May Cry he was half demon, half human. In the new one he was half demon, half angel. That's the only difference I can find. If you look at it as an origin story and then put it with the rest of the games, it's actually an awesome way to start a series. And we're talking about this only because they're going to release DMC for PS4. They're redoing it.
Yeah.
And we're also talking about this because they're bringing back original Dante. They're going back to the original. Or that's the rumor. Which, I don't care either way. I liked white hair Dante. But, I mean, even in DMC, near the end of the game, his hair got white. It got whiter and whiter and whiter. So, I mean, to sit there and say, oh, it's its completely own game, that's just, it's... All the evidence points to it being an origin story with a few twists. So...
I personally heard from a lot of the local gamers that I play with that they didn't like the complete change in character of Dante in the new DMC, and I personally don't agree with it. One is because in the scene and in the setting of DMC, Dante is much younger, meaning that his character isn't as developed as when the first games that we are introduced to.
He's more immature. He's more, I don't give a fuck about anyone but myself. Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't exactly found himself. He doesn't really know exactly who he is at this point in DMC. I mean, he has kind of an idea of what he's doing, who are his enemies, but in reality, he doesn't know exactly who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, I mean, it's a good adaptation. I mean, with a lot of people didn't really like it. I could understand that. I'm not going to argue that, your opinion isn't valid, but I'm simply trying to say that there are kind of ways that you can look at it that make it better. for an example, I thought that the mechanics were awesome. It was, hack and slash like all the the other Devil May Cry games were,
Mm-hmm.
which they still kept that aspect, but it was more fun. It had more artistic integrity. It was more compacted.
They took the gameplay in a completely. Everyone was all pissed off because it's not 60 frames per second. It still looked fucking awesome and it ran perfectly smooth. The entire game, it did not lag once for me. It was perfect, and that was with everything going on. That was with the city changing constantly and things blowing up and stretching the entire thing while you're playing, not just cutscenes. That's an amazing thing to do. They took a huge risk. And they made something that has never been seen before, an environment that's constantly changing around you in the middle of the game, not a cutscene. It's not like Zelda where you're standing there watching the thing change. No, it happens while you're playing. And I think that's a huge, huge plus. I think they did that perfect. I think that was right. I think they did that right.
The entire game was basically a cutscene. I mean, you have... I think it's awesome because I think that the environment itself represents how Dante's changing as well. And then you see at the end of the game where he's changing from the, human hair, the human appearance Dante to having, that white hair that we see when we first play the primary Devil May Cry games. Mm-hmm. And I think that was an awesome addition. I mean, yes, it may have not been what people perceived to have been Dante when he was younger, but I still think that it had a lot of potential. I mean, in and itself, Ninja Storm did a wonderful job with, the way that they had everything. The developers, I think, did a wonderful job with the game as well. I love the music. The music was perfect for the kind of game it was. It was extremely contemporary and awesome. It was so abstract.
They took it from, metal from the original Devil May Cry, and they kind of added an EDM twist that made it modern and made it feel like it should have been in the game. Because when you played the other games and you thought about it, you play those games and you can tell that it should have heavy, loud music. Like, you play Devil May Cry, you can think Slipknot would have made the album. That's the kind of music. But with DMC, they took it, and it's just the feeling of the game. The music was perfect for the feeling of the game, especially the music always matched the arenas and the areas you were in. The game did awesome with the story. The thing that I've always hated about Devil May Cry was the fact that every single game, except for the second one, I don't remember, in every single game they're always talking about Dante and Virgil and how they're fighting, but not once did they ever address how they became enemies. Ever. They never talked about it. Even Devil May Cry 3, it started when they were already enemies. Mm-hmm. And then they finally brought it back to when they were actually brothers. And I loved seeing that because they both wanted the same thing, but at the end they wanted it in different ways. I can see how that would split them. And I'm glad they did it. I kind of
noticed that Virgil's character in DMC was they have extreme emotional and psychological trauma that you notice. I mean, with the environment that they're in, they're being exposed to the supernatural world, and obviously some handle it better than others. Dante, in my opinion, handled it much more better than Virgil did. Virgil, as you can see in DMC, when he shoots the mother of the, pretty much the antagonist.
Oh, yeah. Mundus.
You can see that he is extremely hostile in the way that he braces for his situations, where he's kind of does not care about the consequences that happen afterwards. Meanwhile, Dante's a little bit more strategic in that sense, where he can fully, accept the consequences of what he does, but at the same time, he tries to avoid there being a negative consequence to his actions.
Mm-hmm. And I think the reason that happens is because of the fact in all of the games, the one thing that they kept through all of the games except number 2 was the fact that he acted like he just didn't give a fuck. Like, he was in this world where everything was always trying to kill him, so he covered it up with humor and, I don't care, I'll just do whatever I want. And I don't think he handled it better than Virgil. I think Virgil just saw it for what it was and realized it needed to change. When you meet Dante in DMC, he's just some guy living in a trailer that doesn't give a shit. He'll just keep killing the things that attack him and then move on. He doesn't really care about stopping it. And then Cat comes along, and then Virgil comes along and gives him a purpose. And I think what they did, the point of it is that they took it in a new direction. I agreed with it. I loved it. They went really vulgar with that game. They took M and like really pushed it, because that game was really vulgar. Like, there was some fucked up things said in that game. And I was perfectly fine with it, because the way that it was built, if they would have done that in older DMCs, it wouldn't have worked. But in this one, just the way it was done, I think they did it really well. When the trailer first came out, everyone complained because, oh, he looks like fucking emo, and then they remade him, and then they started to get more defined, and I just think they took it in a good direction. I think that I applaud them. And Ninja Theory, oh god. Ninja Theory fucking did that shit perfect. I'm really surprised that Ninja Theory was able to do that, because they did it awesome. But no, games, there's a lot of...
By the way, I'm sorry if I said Ninja Storm. I'm still thinking about a Naruto game that I played recently just to get a walkthrough of it.
You didn't say Ninja Storm.
Yeah,
you're good.
Sorry about that. Ninja Theory, guys.
But it's not all about Devil May Cry. And then I mean, even with like Advanced Warfare took new developer, new everything. They took that game in a completely different direction, to the point where that game was so much more fast-paced, because you had to go jump it. Every Call of Duty game, there's only been really like 4 directions. There's front, back, left, right, and now you have to worry about people flying over your head, and you actually have to be looking around and going up, and then boots, or like flying to the side and doing all that, worrying about shields.
In my opinion, I think that game is so broken.
Advanced Warfare?
I think it's so broken. I mean, whenever I play it online, there will be people that will hack it and just like will just be floating and just shooting each other, and I have no idea why. I'm just like, what is going on?
Like permanently floating?
Yeah, permanently floating.
Because there's a hover thing. There's an ability that lets you hover.
No, it's like forever for no reason. Oh. Like no hover, just like, and it'll like you pretty much like float all the way up into the map. Like,
well, then that I've been playing it for a couple weeks. I haven't seen anything like that. They might have patched it, which I mean is good. I've been playing it. But the problem with that game, and I don't even know if it's a problem, because they've been doing Call of Duty the exact same way for the last 6-7 years. It's not even really a problem. They made it so fast paced and so oh, where am I, what's going on, that it got to the point where if you play it without an exosuit, if you play it without jumping and going all fast and shit, it's boring. Like, there's a mode on there where it's just classic Call of Duty style, and it's just boring. I
personally like it with the exosuits.
Oh yeah, I love it, because it adds a whole new dimension of gameplay. I'm gonna have to
how we're floating permanently, uncontrollably.
Sorry, I had to turn on my light because it was getting dark. So.
I walked into that and I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, that doesn't... I have not had that experience with it at all. But, no, there's a lot of games... There are games that take it in new directions and fail miserably. Like, I had an example. Shit. Fuck, I had an example. I forgot what the example was. I should have prepared this. Are there any... What other games do that? Whatever, I'll come back to it later. I'll remember it.
14.
What?
It's a Final Fantasy 14.
Don't even talk to me about Final Fantasy. I have not played a Final Fantasy since Final Fantasy VIII. And I will not.
This is the kind of topic in which maybe taking older games in a newer direction isn't good. Because, I mean, we both agreed in DMC that DMC was pretty good for taking a game in a newer direction.
But the difference...
I love tactics, though.
There's a difference. There's a huge difference. There is a list of things they need to stop making, and it goes in order like this. Final Fantasy, Fast and Furious, and fuck, what's the name of it? And Call of Duty, the way they've been making it. Advanced Warfare, I'm fine with that. Keep pushing it in new directions. But Fast and Furious and Final Fantasy, they need to stop. It's how many games is it? Like 16 now? 15? How many are there? There's way more than that, aren't there?
There are way more than 14.
Now,
just saying, there's about
I haven't played one since Final Fantasy VIII because I got so tired of it. But back then, it was literally just the exact same bosses in different orders, only different colors. Like, okay, awesome. No, I am not one of those people. I don't like turn-based games. The only turn-based game I've ever been able to stand was Pokemon, and that was barely. I'm not a fan of turn-based games, but at the same time, like Final Fantasy, they just need to stop. Like they're not even beating a dead horse anymore. That horse has been decomposed for 5 years, and they're still just smashing the ground where it was. Hey, what's up? If you don't remember me from the video you just watched, then there's a problem. I didn't really say this in the video. I don't know what she wants herself to be called. I'm not sure what's going on with that. As far as everyone else is concerned, I'm Teddy, not my real name. I'll probably reveal it at some point, but long story as to why that's my name, Facebook. I'll go into it. I'll make a video about it. It's really, really funny. Perspective, I guess. Anyway, I'm making this little thing after the video because I want to just... we ended on a weird note. It was a weird place to end. Originally, we had 2 discussions planned, but the second subject, we didn't really go that far into. It wasn't really planned. It wasn't really talked about beforehand. This entire video, this discussion, we just thought of it 2 days ago. We wanted to do a discussion, but we just said we're going to do it this time 2 days ago, and we didn't really have a lot of time. Bear with us. It's our first video. Before, we didn't have a lot of stuff sorted out. I didn't have access to do a lot of stuff. Now I do, and I'm going to be working a lot more on the site. We're going to start introducing music and movies and news, and we already have one news video up by someone other than us, but we're going to start doing stuff too. So just bear with us. It's going to get a lot better. In terms of discussions, we're going to be starting this series, and that was episode 1. It's going to be called Full Disclosure Entertainment on Call. What we want, what we expect is when we start getting more viewership, when we start getting bigger, when we start learning how to make stuff as a website and be a team, we want you guys, we want the viewers to be extremely involved in everything we do. When we do discussions, if you ever want to hear a certain discussion topic, put it in a comment or email us. fulldisclosureentertainment@gmail.com. Just email it to us. Contact us. Let us know. We'll discuss it. If you want to be in the discussion with us, if you want to have a Skype discussion with us, fuck yeah. Let's do it. Please. I want to hear other people's opinions. I want to talk to other people. Because I have my own set of opinions, and everyone has their own set of opinions, so let's do it. And we want everyone to be involved. If you want your opinion heard, awesome. We want to be that place where people can voice their opinions. We don't want to be like every other game site. We want to be different. We want the people to be heard. We will bring you on the videos, and we will talk about shit with you. I'm not a dick. I'll talk. I'll be nice. I'm nice. I think. I don't know. I'm probably not in real life, but anyway. So, thanks for watching. It means a lot. That was our first video. Like I said, bear with us. It's going to get a lot better. We're moving to a new domain soon. If you don't know the website, awesome. Go to the website. fulldisclosureentertainment.wordpress.com. I'll put a link in the description, obviously. But we are moving to a new domain soon. We're going to buy a domain so we don't have to put up with WordPress's shit. We're probably going to go to Squarespace just because... Have you seen Jeff Bridges' site? It's pretty fucking badass. Jeff Bridges' site is pretty OG. I love Jeff Bridges. But anyway, off topic. So yeah, but originally we had two discussions planned. The original video was like 50 minutes long, almost an hour long, but we kept breaking off on tangents. That's why I ended it where I ended it, because it was starting to go off on a huge tangent, and I just ended it there. And that's why you're seeing me now. And I know you just love seeing me because I'm just so pretty. So I can't believe I'm going to upload this. But anyway. So yeah, thanks for watching. We're not super duper get work done people. We're cool. We're gamers. We're like everyone else. We started as gamers, and that's what we are. And we got a chick that's a gamer. Can't get better than that, right? So anyway, yeah, and we're gonna have a lot of other people. I know a lot of people who have. There's this one guy I know that I worked with, who has the biggest opinions on games I've ever heard. I'm gonna try as hard as I can to bring him on, because you're gonna hear this guy and you're just gonna fucking flip. He will go for hours if you let him. And I don't know whether it's sad or awesome, but I've heard him go for hours just on World of Tanks. And I'm just like, dude, just stop. But anyway, I should end this. I'm getting a little bit off on a tangent again. We're going to be getting a lot more people. We're going to be doing a lot more. All the videos we've been uploading lately, this is the first video on our actual channel. On the site we've been uploading. We have partners that upload videos through us. And all that good jazz. We're going to start doing our own videos. We're expanding. We're getting live streamers. We're going to be doing a lot more. I personally am going to be doing things. Don't confuse my persona when I'm like debating someone or when I'm discussing something. I'm actually a really lighthearted, really funny guy when I'm playing games or when I'm talking about games. It's just discussions. I feel like that's a place where you need to actually talk about things, because you need to get the point across. But yeah, anyone just shoot me a line if you want to talk, if you have some opinions, if you want to do a Skype chat, fucking do it. I work full time, so 9 to 5 every day. Weekdays, 9 to 5, and after that I'm free. So let's talk. I'm up for fucking anything. I mean, just email me. Like I said, I'm going to put a link to our email in the description. I'll put our email out. It's not going to be a link. fulldisclosureentertainment@gmail.com. And thanks for watching.